Hello everyone, today I'll show you how to make Tres Leches cake. Tres means 3 and leches means milk. So I'll be using 3 different kinds of milk to make this cake. Here are the ingredients: milk, evaporated milk, condensed milk, eggs, sugar, and flour. Butter the springform pan or a casserole dish and set it aside. Let's get started working on the dry ingredients. I'm using 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and sift it. Let's start working on the wet ingredients. Take 2 large bowls and separate the egg yolks from egg whites. I'm using 4 large eggs. Keep the egg whites aside for now. And let's start working on egg yolk. I'm using 1/3 of a cup of granulated sugar and beat it until it's smooth and creamy. I'm adding 1/3 of a cup of milk. Mix it until all the ingredients are combined. To that, add the flour mixture into the liquid ingredient and then mix it all until it's smooth. And to that, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now let's start working on the egg whites. Beat it until it's stiff peak. Combine the egg whites into the cake batter. Since it's fluffed egg whites, you have to be very gentle. The purpose of this process is to retain as much air bubbles as possible in the egg white. So that's why you have to be very gentle while folding the egg whites into the cake batter. So once everything is folded, take the buttered baking dish and bake it at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Once it's out of the oven, let it cool down, and once it cools down, you'll see it's wrinkly on the top. Use an icing spatula to run through before you open the springform pan. This cake is very light and fluffy. So since this is a themed cake, I'm using cake stand. Poke holes with fork. Now let's make the milk mixture. So take a bowl, add 1 cup of full fat milk, 1 cup of evaporated milk, and half a cup of condensed milk. Once the milk is combined, start pouring the milk mixture on the sponge cake. Once you've poured all the milk, keep the cake in the fridge overnight or at least for 6 to 8 hours. For icing, I'm using heavy whipping cream and sugar. So I'm using 2 cups of heavy whipping cream and 1/4 of a cup of sugar. I'm using handheld blender to whip the heavy cream. Whip it until stiff peak. Since the cake is already very sweet, the frosting doesn't need to be very sweet. So I'm using big dollops of frosting on top of it and just spread it out gently and even it out on the top and on the sides. You can use fruits and berries to garnish this cake. I'm using strawberries and blueberries to garnish. This cake is very sweet and juicy. So make sure every slice is served with at least 1 piece of strawberry. The tanginess from the fruit and the sweetness in the cake makes very good combination. I made this cake for football finals, for Copa America and for Euro Cup. I use fondants to make flags and football, and I use food colors to paint the flags. Eat delicious and be happy. Bye-bye.